So
Oh.
we have this. You're on Tracer now. It's mostly going to be Soldier and Tracer from what I hear. What level was this game at again?
What can I say? A
Diamond.
girl just has to
Diamond
have
game.
the
Okay.
latest tech.
Cool.
Actually, I think this game's only 76.
Okay.
It's the other one that has a tracer mostly.
Okay, we'll probably get to it based on this length. Oh, nice, nice. So that's what we call a taunt heal station. We drop our heal station just because we're telling the other team, I don't even need this to beat you. So props for that. No, don't do that. But that's obviously a misclick.
Yeah.
Okay, going over here for your angle. Let's let this thing chill out a little bit frame-wise. Okay, so you're going over here. So you're late, and that's part of the problem here. You sort of, I don't know if you went AFK, something fell on your keyboard, whatever the case may be here. But I assume this isn't where you'd have played for naturally if you'd sort of been on time, is it?
I think it would be because I'm on off angle.
Okay, I do like the off angle. I do like the off angle. So you'd have gone, hey, I want this off angle. You wouldn't have said, hey, I want to rotate with my team because the thing that we get if my team gets it is high ground. And you wouldn't have said, hey, I want this where I'm sort of protected if the other team does it. Like you can't contribute to the fight, or you wouldn't have gone here. You'd have said here, you think.
Yeah, because I'm scared of like the stunned, that McCree,
Sure.
the Hog, the Briggs, so I'm like, I don't want to go near there.
Okay, okay. I'm hoping that you're going to transition this to be a little bit more aggressive, to at least more think about this angle as opposed to this angle as this fight goes forward, because this is pretty passive, and if there wasn't a diver here, you'd be doing nothing. But let's see what your decision-making continues to be here. Great. Nice of them to give us that. Sure, you have the jump on him. Okay, so we see this. I know it's annoying. I really do know it's annoying. Are you actually getting anything by doing this? I know you're shooting at the brig, but watch yourself from our perspective. Does that feel right?
I mean,
So, did you really get anything that you wouldn't have had just by being here or just by rotating to here?
not really. I guess it was in the open, so
Right. You were just in
McCree
the
can
open.
kind of pick me.
Right. So, you know that you've eliminated someone, but, there's still an Anna on the other side there. There's still a McCree. There's still ways to bother you for that, and they might shoot at you from angles that you're not expecting. It might be, hey, McCree peeks and immediately get some damage on you. No real need to do that. Might as well have our cover available, or if we want to rotate here, that's perfectly fine too, but might as well actually do that rotation, not just sort of do back and forth there. And I don't know if that was just habit or if that was just, hey, this is helping me aim. But we do want to make sure that we're a little more conscious of what our cover is.
Yep.
The objective is now. Get over here. We all got it.
Sure.
That's better.
Yeah, I think you're going to change your mind on that one. So, that's more further back than we wanted to go, but that's fine. I'm with you here.
That's better.
I can live with this. So, here we are. We're against a ball. What cooldowns does this ball have?
Yeah, slam, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and say shields, right?
Right. Well, I mean, he's also got grapple, but did he just use grapple?
Yeah, I just used it.
Right, right. So he's got that. So he just used grapple. And because he just used grapple, you're willing to go here, and you also want to deny him the health pack. I get that. But does he have grapple back now?
Maybe.
Okay. We'll cheat. I mean, he doesn't, but he will before you're safe. You see where I'm going here? Where it's like, okay, now he has grapple back. and you were in this situation where you played near the edge against, this is just disrespecting it. Like, this is literally just disrespecting this ball. Like, you haven't gone down here in the first place. I get that you're trying to deny this, and you did do it right after he used grapple, which was the best timing to do it. But this is one of those things where, hey, you had a decision to make. If you feel your team's just getting crushed in the team fight, fine. You can just reset off the edge. If that had been your decision, so be it. But this looks to me like you're playing, you're trying to survive, you're trying to fight this a little bit type thing. And when the ball wasn't here and you went here, that's fine. If the ball goes up for a slam, you're just going to back right back up here and do this, right? Like, why would we go down for this health pack here and create this situation where we're near the edge and this is ball's playground to knock us off the map, when we can instead go, I can just as easily run back this way, shoot you from here, and then it's still, I have a nice deep angle on your team if my team is still in it. So we really would prefer not to play near environmental danger when there's a ball on the other team, just sort of in general, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not a young man anymore.
Sure. Okay. Unfortunate. This McCree doesn't know you're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to open with shots or do you want to open with Helix?
Helix.
Right. Okay, so we just went for a couple shots there, which is unfortunate, but almost right. Sure.
Everyone, heal up.
I don't know. I didn't die there.
It's okay. Sometimes we just go, thank you.
Patched up.
Fine. You know, grapple's gone. Get out immediately. Good.
I've got you in my sights.
Okay. You're done. You leave. No, you're trying to fight this. Okay. So not super big deal. So obviously you're here. You decide, hey, we've got our one. I'm doing this because I want to help my team rotate in. Yes, or are you expecting to get a limbs off this?
No, you just pressure so the Kree goes away, and maybe to get them off high ground.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe.
I don't think you're gonna get them off high ground. I think what you're gonna get is, yes, the Kree is gonna go away, and your team is gonna be able to get in a little more, which is helpful to you. But that's fine. Okay. We've sort of accomplished what we needed to with this visor now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, I just kind of want to leave. Like, you're here, you're doing this, he's gone, fine. If he's going to run off for you, even better.
Heroes never die. For a price. We still need you. Damage boost engaged.
Great.
Healing stream engaged.
Thank you.
Right beside you.
Thanks.
You should be at peak performance level. Roof up.
Powered up. I've got you in my sights.
Okay. Why don't I like this healing station?
Because the mine's up there.
It's actually not so much about the mines. If you're standing in
Oh,
this
because I have
healing...
a mercy pocket.
No,
It doesn't matter.
no, it's actually none of
Oh.
those. It's that you don't have the like most amazing ability to shoot them while still being in your healing station here. Like your healing station is almost like directly behind your cover to them. So this is almost a completely defensive healing station where it only helps you when they can't shoot at you, right? Like you get a little
Mhm.
bit over here, but if you want to open the angle and shoot at this team, like if you've got to stand right here, which is actually okay, but like you don't have the ability. I'd like to slide this healing station a little bit more to the right or a little bit more to the left so that you have a bit more ability to sort of open the angles on these guys while still getting the value of the healing station. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. We don't want it to be like purely defensive. And this one just sort of based on the terrain sort of is going to give you that, but we can be a little more intentional with that. We can change the angle. Is that even the retreat path we wanted though? So we're here. You hear that there's no hook? Yeah, you don't have a great way through, sure. I mean, you'll get enough done if you hit this rotation. Like, if you complete this rotation, you'll be fine. This really becomes a question of, you've done a lot, and I mean a lot of rotating, and Soldier's going to do a lot of rotating, but you've changed your mind this fight a lot of times on where you're going to play from, which is natural. You're going to do some of that on Soldier because you have sprint, you have the ability, but you're not realizing enough investment from these places. Like, here you are. And we go through, and we push back a bat, and then Hog pays attention to us. We didn't get much there for the amount of time that we spent rotating, and that's fine. Sometimes that's going to happen, but it's a little bit of a habit that we're not getting a ton done. So this is fine. That's just part of our rotation where we're actually going, which is to here. But we've invested a good 4 seconds to get here. And we pressure the Kree a bit. And we do a Helix rocket that this is kind of a questionable Helix rocket in the first place. Like, we're looking at this. We know what the situation is. She's definitely aware that we're here. Yes, she's not looking at us, but she's very aware of us. Fine. We tag her with it, but we're not going to have any follow-up because of where we are in our reload cycle. So that's just a mistake to go for this one. And what we sort of got here is we sort of denied them their own window and put a little pressure really on Kree, not so much Brig. And now we're rotating again. And like, yes, we have to rotate again because we don't have anything, but let's go hit our rotation again here. And I don't mind that you got eliminated necessarily, but like each time we open a new angle, that's sort of the peak of our burst power, and we need to have made up for the fact that we rotated. And I'm not telling you to have not rotated. Your rotations, doing them was mostly correct, but I actually want to get that burst power of like, hey, we hit a rocket and we immediately follow it up with headshots, and I want to pretty consistently get that on someone, on a target that I think I can eliminate before they go to cover. Because it's not good enough to pressure people back to cover like this. It's not good enough to, hey, I got them to stop using their window, but I invested 4 seconds to get from here over to here, and then I invested another 5 seconds to get from here to here, and I put some pressure on people and I moved them around, and that's good. But I really am looking if I'm taking, if I've taken 9 seconds out of this fight, and what do I have to show for taking 9 seconds out of this fight?
Just making them not use window and maybe making them back up a little bit.
Right, which is like, okay, it's not terrible, but like, hey, we invested a lot of time not in the fight to set ourselves up to do more work, and then we couldn't quite get it done. So I really want us to look a little bit harder for, hey, I'm not gonna hit a rocket when I have no shots left. I'm going to look for, after I've opened the angle, I'm gonna basically immediately open it. I'm gonna pick a target that is far enough away from cover that I think I can burst them down, and I'm gonna hit them with my rocket into headshots to take them out quickly. That's sort of what we're going to look for, and we're going to look for it more consistently. We have to sort of babysit the fact that Soldier's kit doesn't have a ton of burst in it to make up for that.
Mission ain't over yet.
You guys have a DC.
He does come back next
Okay.
round, I think.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Looks like
Maybe not in
that
the first
apple-
fight,
looks
but he
like
does
that
come.
apple a day
Okay.
thing didn't work out for them.
Sure. Unfortunate. Sure. We see this has happened again, where you go for your rocket open, which is a good one, but you're doing this while you've got like nothing in the clip.
Yeah, I see. The habit I have.
I don't know if it's so much of a habit that you have as so much as thinking about your ammo after a little break from sprinting isn't high on your list. I think that's more where it is right now, but that's okay.
Yeah, he came back.
This old my
Good.
tactical visor is charging.
Step right.
Anyone need
Why?
Step right.
I mean, were you scared of that ball? What's this health station for?
Oh. I don't know.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
just put it.
That's fine. It's a big deal to drop your health station. That's a committal. Like, one thing that we're going to talk about is you seem to move around a lot. Like, you move a lot, which Soldier does. That's fine. But you move even for a Soldier a fair bit, and like your health station is your route. I've kind of committed to this spot pretty hard for the next 6 or 7 seconds, and I don't think I want this spot for the next 6 or 7 seconds. I think I've done what I'm going to do with this spot, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
anyone need some healing?
Yeah, because I just move.
It's charging.
Yep. Sure.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Hold your high ground. He's fine.
My ultimate is ready.
My ultimate is ready.
Tactical visor ready for deployment. Come and face me. My ultimate is ready.
My ultimate is ready.
Mostly reasonable.
Okay, that was my bad.
Okay, as long as you know, that's good. You changed your mind like twice here, where it's like, he's doing this, and I'm like, I'm surprised there isn't immediately a Helix rocket, and then you're like, oh, I'm leaving, and you heal station, and this is what's so weird to me, because I'm like, but there's no way and then you do go to challenge him again, which you can't do this. You could have fired a Helix at him immediately, but as soon as you left, it's over. What you've decided to do is leave for the entirety of his high noon at that point. All right, that has to be the thing. Like, if you don't immediately eliminate him, if you start to leave, there's no reopening it. The angle.
I don't quit till the fight's done.
Mm-hmm.
Graviton, my ultimate is ready.
Why? So, it's not wrong to shoot at them when you have your tac visor. That's not what's wrong. It's just you're never going to get an elimination here, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to get an elimination here, and also your teammates are all in spawn. Like, officially they're alive, but your teammates are literally all in spawn. So, like, your damage isn't going to randomly combine with someone else's damage to turn into an elimination, and you're not going to get an elimination. Whereas there's a chance that these guys get you, right? There's a chance that, hey, maybe Hog gets closer and hooks you. Maybe as you're shooting Hog over here, it turns out McCree is over here and he peeks you and double taps you. Like, there's a chance for things to go poorly for you when there's basically no chance that you're going to get an elimination on them. And you already have your visor, so we just don't do this. We don't want to poke into like a 1v4, 1v6 type scenario unless we have much stronger burst than we do, and we don't. We're Soldier. Again, maybe if we were Ashe, okay, if we were a Widow or a Hanzo. As a Soldier, not so much. And this
Yeah,
would-
I was
okay.
thinking that, but then my processing was like they wanted to spawn camp.
Sure.
So I was like, I want to put damage so they don't even think about coming closer.
So pressure has some value. Like, pressure doesn't always have to lead to an elimination to get a value. And you're keeping them back a little bit, but like this pressure damage, I don't really think is holding them back, because I look at this pressure damage and go, you can pretty easily be healed through here. Like, yes, maybe they'll respect you for an extra second and not come up here because of the damage that you're putting on them. But like, this isn't going to be a situation when they're still going to be weak when you have more teammates. So maybe there's something to be said for, hey, I shot at them, and because of that, this Hog turned around and they're not going to push up and spawn camp me. They definitely have the ability to. I mean, their Hog definitely could walk forward with his BAP healing him and then get to here just fine. But I also don't know that I'd care that much if they come out here. It's sort of like, okay, you guys are out here. The spawn camp isn't really that huge of a deal. It's not like they're going to actually lock you in your spawn here. They're going to hold out here. And that's just really not a big deal. You guys have the much better cover options for that. But I can respect that. I can respect the, hey, I don't want them to advance any further, and that's what you think they're doing.
Yeah, I was scared of the Hog like hooking a teammate or something. And then...
Yeah, but I'm scared of the Hog hooking you.
True. Yeah.
Again, the
healing.
Helix station is going down as the ball is retreating. We don't want to be here for the next 6 or 7 seconds. Are we going to respect him? We're listening. We don't hear him. We're going. Okay.
Step
Tactical
right.
visor ready for deployment.
I don't need this. Why? So you see that. You decide on the ball, which is fine. You see that the ball's going again. I don't know that I need to stay on the ball. In fact, I don't want this. I would prefer, truth be told, to open this back up and see what I've got here. And sure enough, I'd potentially have a BAP to Helix and then headshot from here. It's not perfect, but then I can deepen the angle to here and still go, hey, look, I'm shooting from this. Like, this is a much scarier angle to the other team. And you're Soldier. You're self-sufficient. You can sustain on this angle than this is here, right?
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking because my McCree was he that dying? I forgot.
He
Like-
was high nooning before. It's over, but yeah.
Yeah, so I thought my BAP would like put what do you call it?
Lamp him?
His ult.
Oh, window
His
form.
ult. And then I would like tac visor here.
Oh.
That was my
See-
thinking.
Oh, see, that's the opposite. I actually thought when you're McCree High Noon, I thought you might be going over here to Visor, because that would have been better than what you're describing. So
Yeah, I
when
was thinking about doing that. I said, oh, McCree's high nooning, maybe BAP will tag. Then I said, let me go back there, but might have not been a
Okay.
good idea putting, high noon and tac visor in the same location.
High Noon and Tech Visor in the same location is not amazing. Even High Noon and Window in the same location isn't amazing, to be honest. I would have much preferred, even if a window was going down here, I'd still prefer you to come over here and perhaps TacVisor from over here, because then you're threatening
Mm.
from this direction and the window is threatening from this direction. I don't need your TacVisor to go through the window. It's not about being like, aha, I will punish you even harder from this angle and will eliminate you that much faster. It's generally stronger to be like, no, we have a surge of power coming from two different directions. I know you will see, even in pro play, they go, oh no, let's stack our window and our high noon. They were doing that for entirely too long before they got past doing it. But like, it's the same thing with TacVisor and window or high noon and window. We do not want those stacked together. We want those separated to compromise the angles. We don't need more power for a high noon. We don't need more power through a window. Like there's enough. If they don't immediately have cover, there's enough. If you have a little bit more, yes, you could technically hit a breakpoint where yes, because we had the window plus the visor, we were able to eliminate them before they got to their cover. But much more likely and much more powerful, much more consistently is going to be we do this from a different angle. High noon and visor from different angle. Window and visor
Okay.
from different angle.
I've got you in my sights.
I mean, you have a lamp, so I'll live with it. I just wouldn't usually be like, let me try and shoot through their window. Okay. Yeah. And again, Hog's Life is worse if you know this because I've seen you try to play angles consistently, but like you know this, obviously Hog's Life is harder if he has to pick between am I looking this way or this way when it comes to throwing those
Mhm.
hooks.
Yeah, I don't even think it's going for me. I think it's going for BAP.
That's what happens with you when you're with your team. You take spam and such meant for other people. Okay, now we're onto our tracer.
Yeah, the game's over. That's
No, no, no! You're gonna carry for these next 10 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna look at the next one because this was a very fast one and I understood that you wanted to review both, so we made it pretty fast. Let me just get a thing without our clicky noise. Okay, but what
Yeah.
I'd look at here in terms of the things that we're seeing on your soldier, if I were to break it down to 3 things, the first one is going to be maybe not an easy fix, but the fix that I'm sure you'll go, oh yes, I need to do that. I understand why I need to do that, which is you need to keep a little bit better track of your ammo when you're sprinting from location to location, because you're then opening with the helix appropriately on a target that doesn't know you're there and then not having ammo. And we saw that twice, and unfortunately in a 9-minute game, twice is 2 times too many. So like we need to track our ammo. We need to just, while we're doing our rotation, and most of these rotations take a couple seconds, to look at what is my ammo. I'm going to have an initial burst of power when I open from a new location, so I need to make sure that I've actually got ammo. It's worth spending the extra time to reload, as long as they don't know I'm here, to go ahead and have that better follow-up to my initial burst and potentially turn that into an elimination. That's the like, okay, no-brainer. That's something that you need to work on, and maybe you'll have to use 5-10% of your brain power while playing a game or while playing 5 games, 10 games as soldier to get that fixed in. But once that's fixed in, that should just be a habit and that should pretty well correct itself. So any questions on that one?
No. So just in summary,
Mhm.
I wanna go for more burst, which is helix headshots.
Specifically after taking a new angle.
Okay.
Specifically because when you take a new angle, that's sort of a power spike for you. So when you're shooting from here and then you spend time to go over here, the BAP isn't immediately going to know that you're here. The McCree isn't going to immediately know that you're here. They may have they may have seen you leave, but there's some level of unattentiveness, some level of wait. Did he go here? Is he going here? Did he go back to find health packs? What he's doing? And then before you open on them, before you reveal your presence by shooting at them, before you draw some attention to you, you sort of get like a first strike, a first peek advantage anytime that you take a new angle. And we want to compound that with your, hey, I always like to, if someone's not aware of me, potentially open with my Helix rocket. And if I combine that with, again, they don't know I'm here because I've intentionally put myself here and I can follow it up, that's good. I don't just, if I'm playing with my team, want to go, oh, I'm shooting at this hog who's shooting back at me or this BAP who's shooting back at me, let me open with my Helix. You don't have to do that because they know that you're there, right? And what makes the opening Helix good is that you can pretty reliably hit it on a target that doesn't know you're there, and you can make your Helix Helix rocket plus follow-up damage from the bullets very close together. Your bullets will still hit first, but it's a case of they won't move from your bullets because your Helix will already have been on the way. Whereas if you're looking at them, you tend to Helix later to try to finish them off. So specifically when you've forced a brand new angle, and they don't know you're there, even if they saw you leave, they haven't responded to you being here yet, that's when I want you to consistently go for the Helix plus follow-up elimination.
Okay. So then there's also like a chance of killing them rather than just pressuring them. And...
Right.
Okay.
After they know you're
And
on your
then-
angle, go ahead.
Oh, and then, I was just saying then healing station.
Yes, that's exactly right. So after they know that you're on your angle, now your contribution is sort of turned into pressure. Where, hey, I didn't get my initial elimination, or I did get my initial elimination. Now I'm a bit more pressure on the other team. Now, or maybe you're up here, it doesn't matter. I'm a bit more pressure on the other team of, hey, I shoot at you guys from here. I'm pretending that they're on point, and I have my healing station, and my healing station is dropped in such a way that it can heal me while I'm out here shooting at you, and it can also heal me where I'm here totally protected. But now I'm sustaining here, and I don't really expect to get eliminations. If I get them, that's great. But now I'm sort of relieving pressure for my team because they're sort of paying more attention to me. The attention is split. They have to pick their cover, etc. And you might continue to advance. You might go from here to make your angle deeper, to here to make your angle deeper. Excuse me. But that's what we're looking at. We're looking at, I want my initial burst to try to get an elimination, and then once they're aware of me, I'm less likely to get an elimination. So now I'm willing to play a more pressure, more sustained game, which, yes, will probably involve my healing station. Okay.
That makes sense.
So that's the first thing. The second thing that's just a mechanical thing that's going to be easy for you, or maybe not a mechanical thing, but is this sort of healing station thing. You just need to be more disciplined with your healing station. Specifically, just because someone looks at you funny, just because someone thinks maybe about challenging you for a second, or because you're missing 50 health, we're not going to drop our healing station. We're going to drop our healing station when we know that we expect to maintain the spot that we're at for a good 6 seconds or so. Because that's a 15-second cooldown, and we need that for duels, and we also need that to do stuff. And we won't just drop it willy-nilly. Like, if we think they're going to shoot back at us, sure, we can drop it if we're going to maintain this angle for a bit. But we're not going, hey, I'm just dropping this because we're dropping it because we expect to stay here for a bit, because we expect that they're going to shoot back at us, and it lets us stay here and continue to contribute that work more often. If a ball jumps on us, we can absolutely healing station. If a Genji jumps on us, we can absolutely healing station. But we're not going to healing station because we're missing health and a ball is rolling away. We're not going to healing station as a fat finger out of spawn. We're not going to healing station to heal our group most of the time. We're looking to use it to sustain our off angle there. So that's a pretty easy one. And this sort of brings us I think I'm going to call it those two things because I think we fit the idea that we needed to fit into the first one, which was surrounding the rocket, which was we need to make sure that you're getting that value off of taking your angles. Because even for a soldier player, you're changing your positioning a fair amount. And I think we've fixed that, or we're going to have fixed that with these 2 points. So if you really go for that opening pick and then you understand how to sustain it to still get value, I think you're good. That is not at all me saying, hey, if you're not getting value, don't change your location, because you absolutely should change your location, and you're also going to change your location or sprint back if someone jumps on you, etc. But you're doing a lot of location changing in general without extracting enough value. And sometimes that'll happen. You'll change locations, you'll have gotten a new spot, and you don't get enough value, but we want to be trying to extract more than you are, which I think we'll do if we make these 2 fixes here. So that's sort of the big concept, but I think the 2 micro things will get you there. Go ahead. Any questions, comments before we move on to Tracer?
Not really. So what I'm saying is the healing station to sustain me is so like I don't have to rotate as much, because sometimes like when I rotate too much, like I'm out of the fight, you know?
Right. And
like
soldiers
for
go
too long.
right. You're out of the fight for a little too long, and we would rather go, hey, I don't want to do this big rotation out here. I'm spending a lot of time out of the fight. I would rather go, if they're fighting me, rather than, hey, I'm under pressure, so I'm going to leave, I can go, nope, I have my healing station, so I can keep this. Now, if they go to places where they just go, hey, no, you can't shoot them anymore, well, then you just deepen your angle. But those are much shorter rotations than what you were showing a propensity to do. Like you go from here
Oh.
to here, or from here to here, where you're deepening your angle, as opposed to this is also deepening your angle, but this is a longer rotation, right?
Oh, so you can deeper by like going into. I don't think I've ever done that actually.
That's fine. Well, it depends on the terrain, right? Like if we go back
Mhm.
to the first point, that's not always available. So let's go here. You might be able to go, hey, I'm here, and I can go, let me get here to make this better. But from here, well, you do still have the option, depending on where they are. If they're over by high ground, for example, yes, you can go here to change your angle. You don't have to go here. But if they're on the point, like they were when there was the window involved, and you're already here, yeah, there's no real better angle for you here. You can swap here, but that's, that may be. What you went and did was over here, which was good, and that was fine, but there's not really an option to take a shorter rotation. If I deepen an angle to here, no, there's nothing here to deepen your angle to. So you can go here, but that's not really better type thing. So it depends on the map. Whereas here, we had the option potentially to go from I'm here over to here, and then depending on how the fight goes, if they're on this portion of the map, I can't, but if they're in that back corner, I can deepen to here, right?
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Makes sense.
Cool. Then let's move on to tracers. Oh, go ahead.
Question: how many minutes do we have left?
I would probably do. We started a little late, and I'm willing to forgive some of that. So I'd probably do like another 20 minutes or so. Let me actually check the recording time. Yeah, I'd probably do another 20 minutes.
It's
Go
gonna
ahead.
be 20. I have another like King of the Hill map
Okay.
because the Blizzard world is okay, but it goes on for a bit too long, and
It's up to you.
it's 20 minutes. That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
it's up to you. You can send me another Koth map, or I can go do a few points of the Blizzard world. Either way.
By the way, is there a difference like between game modes like cost and like
There's
Halo?
differences between them, sure.
Like in coaching. I mean, like coaching quality of a King of the Hill is better or worse than like.
no, it's
Not
not.
really.
Okay,
that was my
if you
question.
tell me that you have a 30% win rate on hybrid and you have a 50% on King of the Hill, I'm going to say let's review hybrid. But no, there's not it's way better to coach and you're going to get way better value per minute from Koth versus 2CP or anything.
Okay, then this one will be better because it has more like engagements and stuff, and that'll
Okay.
be easier. More fights, I mean.
Okay. By this one, do you mean this one that you just sent?
Yeah, the one I
Perfect.
just sent you.
Perfect.
King of the Hill, mostly Tracer, a bit of Soldier at the end, but we got a bit stumped at the end.
Okay.
The first two rounds are like the.
Traveling to Hanamura.
Wait, did I give you the right one? Is that Hanamura?
Ready for
Ah, fuck, I gave you the wrong one actually.
Okay.
That is 2 CP.
Do you want me to do the other one then, or how do you want to do this?
I'm sending you.
Okay.
One. There you go. That's the right one.
Final answer. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's the right. Yeah, Blizzard really messed me. I had such a good one. Tracer and
Yeah,
Tracer.
I heard that
But
from
then-
someone else as well who had scheduled today, where it's like, no, the perfect code is gone, which sucks.
ready
Hmm.
for battle. Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Come on, game.
1.
Okay, we're set. Here we go.
Bye.
Sure. So here you are. You go for this, which is fine. I don't love that you haven't made a decision on this crosshair on is this crosshair going to be a little more to the left or is it going to be a little more to the right? Like you're holding the wall, which isn't really a target. This ultimately ends up well enough for you. You hit one blink away. And I'm a little more questionable about that second blink. Like, the trace is really not an issue for you at the distance that she was, but I can live with it. Sure. this Echo, I mean, she's sort of aware that you're in this general vicinity, but she's just definitely not paying attention to you. After this double blink, are you now going to be able to one clip her?
No, she's too far.
Right. So like you just did a double blink when you were safe. Like no one's coming back from spawn. You didn't like protect yourself from crossfire here or anything with this double blink. This is you just going, "Hey, I'm feeling antsy that I'm not in the fight. I want to get into it faster." Is your team in like a hard dive on this Echo or anything like this where it's like, "Hey, I got to be on her right now"? Or is your team sort of doing like maybe these guys are fighting, but this is just bubble shenanigans and your Anna's back in this and your Fair is fine over here? Like is your team hard engaged right now?
No, yeah. What I thought was like the Echo's gonna run away from me, and then I was like, should I get her before she runs away? But
Yeah,
yeah, it didn't even work out at the end.
right. So what
Totally
we
close
want to
enough.
think about is we want to have our blinks available to us for really two purposes. We want to have our blinks available to us to sustain, to dodge while we're in the fight, or we want to have our blinks available to us as like part of a coordinated dive to get on someone at the beginning of a fight. Like if you and Winston were both jumping on this Echo and you were double blinking and you were actually going to be close to her by double blinking her onto her, I'd say yeah, fine, whatever. But like this is a combo burst power window, or it's you having the ability to sustain in the fight. By you double blinking here now, you now have 0, soon 1, but 0 blinks. So you don't really have a way to stay in this fight, or if this fight starts 2 seconds from now, because it could, this fight could get very real 2 seconds from now, you're not really going to have a way to stay in that fight if any pressure is put on you, are you? Right. So we really want to be going less for movement. We can use some blinks for movement when we're far away from a time frame and distance standpoint from the fight starting. But as we get closer to when we think the fight should start, we really want to be conserving blinks so that we have them to stay in the fight longer. I would not be willing to blink here. Okay. Okay. I'm glad it worked out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then this is not a good idea.
Yeah. And you can see here, you're sort of functioning on borrowed time the whole time in this fight. Like here we are. You did this, you use your blank, so you're at 0 blanks. You can't do anything except recall right now. You get the Winston, which, hey, I'm happy we got the Winston. I'm happy we're able to get the Echo. And then we have to use our recall. Now we have exactly 1 blink to play with. And we get it forced out of us pretty quick, and we don't have our recall, so this is pretty much going to be it. And then again, we have to use this next blink as soon as we had it. Whereas we definitely would have blinked this Tracer. Like, we 100% would have been like, hey, we see this is happening. This would have been a blink to cover our reload instead of us taking that fat Echo shot. And 100% when we started taking damage here, we would have done a left blink, a left forward blink over to here to make her reacquire us as a target. Like 100%, except we were constantly waiting for the next blink, right?
So it's really
Oh, go ahead.
hard on me.
Oh, I'm hard on you?
I'm just saying it's really hard on me because I didn't have blinks.
Right. And you made this fight hard on yourself because, like, the fight wouldn't have played out the same way if you hadn't been here when you were and used the 2 fights to blink. But let's pretend it had. Let's pretend that you hadn't used the 2 blinks and you'd somehow still been here. You see how much easier this fight would have been. And there's not a good reason for you to get eliminated in this fight because we've already gone up to, right? Like, hey, we got 2 eliminations here. There's no reason for you to be in a situation where you're in any danger of getting eliminated here. But hey, so be it.
Locking down the objective.
Those 3 blinks are fine. Now we need to conserve. What are you aiming at? Do you expect an enemy to show up here? Okay. Like, again, we'd bring our crosshair over to look at where enemies could show up. It could be there, or it could be over there, but it wouldn't be on the health pack.
Yeah, I guess with like Soldier, I do that, but like with Tracer, I'm like, no, I can't even hit them. So I'm saying I'm just gonna look at the health pack. Maybe if they come for a health pack, I can kill them before they touch it.
Okay.
I-
Uh, But why? Okay. Sure. I'm going to call that a blink for burst damage. I don't love it, but I'm going to call it that. And you're able to, you had a chance potentially of taking him out there. Again, you're pretty light on blinks as this is happening. And again, you're a little late to the fight, but this is just a timing thing. So not a big deal. But now, no one's really paying attention to you yet, right? Like they're going to turn on you. But you just used a blink when no one, you just used your last blink while no one was looking at you. I'm not a huge fan. And then that blink was fine. Sure-ish. Mm-hmm. Why? So you're here. Okay. I'm just not too worried about anything that's here. I see the Lucio. Sorry, I'm going to find the moment for you. Are there any real threats to you? Like, Lucio's coming around, but you're fine.
Yeah, to be honest, I got scared of Lucio.
Okay. If that's what's going on, so be it. But, like, I'm looking at this and going, I don't love this. Good.
I killed him, why did I kill Lucio?
I know. Sticking Mortal
It's
was
funny.
questionable. Like, I was like, but hey, you got the Lucio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why? There's zero threats to you. There are zero threats to you. You are aware of no one that can shoot at you right now. So what's that? Like, you're totally safe, you're bubbled, you have, like, this is a safe space that you're going across where you have cover between you and the opponents, and you're like, I'm going to blink across the cover so that I can run without blinks through the open space that's actually dangerous to me. No! No!
Bet that's smart.
Okay, time to leave.
My ultimate is charging.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're a little lost on where you want to take this engage from.
My ultimate is charging.
That's fine. You're battling back a flanker.
Hey, duck!
You're not quite sure what you want to do here. And now you're turning this into a flank shirt.
Get to cover.
Just in time.
Again, we don't like that blank. But you had 3, so we're going to live with it. Sure. No reason for that whatsoever, and you did not have 3, and we can't really do anything during this beat either. We're just chipping down health, which is fine. Okay. And again, we see this, where we're going, hey, that's fine. But we look around and go, well, like, yes, this Tracer is trying to chase you, and maybe you hear that, maybe you're aware of that, but your blink right now is mostly through the protected space, which is like, I don't love that. I'm perfectly happy to bait this Tracer around here and fight her, but I'm probably going to make her follow me around the corner and then blink back past her, right? Like, did you feel like you had to need there? Was this blink for the Tracer? I assume so.
Yeah, I was trying to run away. I thought someone was chasing me. I didn't know if it was Tracer, but I felt like someone was chasing me.
Yeah, see, you got to be careful about the I'm blinking because I feel like I should be in danger blinks with Tracer, because those will get you in trouble. The I feel like someone should be looking at me. We all have a bit of a spidey sense, a sixth sense of like, oh, I think this is it. But it's really easy to lean on that too hard. In this case, okay, It's right. Tracer does, in fact, see you. You haven't taken any damage yet, though, and you don't know if her crosshairs are even close to lined up on you. Let's actually take a look. I'm curious. They were. She was reloading. You didn't necessarily know that she was reloading, but they were lined up on you. Okay. Reasonable blink in the end.
Hello. Hello there.
Actually, let's look. I'm pretty sure it wasn't back quite yet, but maybe I'm wrong. No, that's back. Your recall is fully back. You just got flipped here without popping your recall. Ouch. Ouch.
Hello. Hello there.
Yeah, I didn't have time to press it. Or maybe I should have just
You
pressed it like.
totally had
like
time to
pre-
press it, but...
But yeah, I probably should have pressed it before, like even
Right, like you didn't
before I
necessarily
got low
have
HP.
to get this at 1 health, but like we look at this and okay, you're at 112 health. You are not instantly burst down by a tracer, even though she blinks in on you. Like there's time. Like it doesn't have to be the instant you start taking damage, but your finger should be hovering over it, ready to trace it, because what you're actually gonna do is you're actually gonna tank a little bit of damage with it and then press recall. But that's a little more advanced than where we are with you right now. But yes, that's the sort of thing where you knew that you didn't have blinks left. You knew you weren't going to be able to push blink if she jumped on you. So yeah, you wanted to be
Yeah,
hovering ready on
I
that
was
button.
waiting for critical before I used the recall.
But her aim was good at the end, so you had to find that moment. All good.
Salam.
Shield's taking damage.
Fire at will.
Okay. I still don't love that blink. And I don't love this blink either. Again, I know it feels like I need to blink because I gotta be in this fight, but how much are you really bringing to this fight with no blinks?
Not that much. Yeah, I mean, sitting a ulting where but doesn't kill her.
Right, right. You can't stick to her if she wants to run away. Mhm. Sure. Deny health pack. Reasonable. Fun.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Tracer.
Not the best blink in the world. Yeah, that recall unfortunately was poorly times too, just from a where you were standpoint. So here we are.
Adaptive
You're doing this. We hit this, and we've got our nice crosshair lead on her. We're able to go, hey, here's some nice damage. And then you do a backwards blink. Backwards blinks aren't the most useful, and you know that this health pack isn't back yet. I get that you want this to be in the right vicinity for this, and you want to sort of be on the outside to keep her away from the pack, but I still would have preferred a little bit more curvature to our blink. And what I mean by that is...
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Okay, here we are.
Trace.
And I don't need to hit exactly this blink. Like, if you've actually been tracking the health pack, I am perfectly happy to do an angled back blink on her as opposed to this. Because if I do this blink, she doesn't have to move her crosshair at all to keep doing damage to me, right? So, like, even if I go, hey, I'm going to blink back to here, I'm still going to beat her to the health pack. And she, at least her crosshair that was on me, she has to adjust. Whereas I'm going to adjust mine faster because I know that I'm blinking in this direction. It's not like hugely, hugely better, but it's a little bit better. And those matter in these battles of, you know, small HP that we're making with Tracer.
Tracer.
Wasting time.
Yeah, I had to recall because
Yep.
it was easy, not
Oh, no,
easy
no,
to
no.
track.
You absolutely had to recall there. It's just unfortunate that our recall landed us sort of here, where we're sort of stuck having to blink in this direction, as opposed to our recall ending us up, you know, just a little bit more here. We've got more options, but that's fine.
Hey, duck.
think I go past this Tracer. Sure. But this Tracer's trying to brute force her way past me, and I'm totally okay with going, nope, I'm going to deal with her. Like, why do you want to go fight what's over here?
Because I'd pulse, I said maybe I can pulse a healer.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I'd be perfectly happy to. This Tracer's kind of come in unsupported, and I know it, and I can stick to her. Like, I get that you've got pulse, but she's walking, and you know that your teammates are here. You were just here. So I'm pretty happy to go, well, we're just gonna, like, rather than try to make a play, like, try to make my own play, why don't I just punish your bad play? Like, that's easier, and it doesn't cost me an ult. Now, it's a cheap ult, but... Sure. Almost. Oh, there you go. Yeah, this is right with one blink. Now I've got 2 blinks, so you're going to get in a little more. Again, perfectly happy to just take advantage of Tracer's natural walk speed to go, nope, it's fine. There's plenty going on here. I'm going to still make it. I know it's scary, but go. Okay.
Back to work.
If I have 1 blink, I'm not pushing this Moira. I'm just going to be perfectly happy to, with my pillar, go, hey, this Moira has to walk to point. She can't stay on me. And I'm just going to shoot her the whole way in, right? Like the whole way in. And she's going to be walking herself between my teammates and me. And we'll get a nice little crossfire on her.
Yep. And that's you should pull out recall from me.
Right. Good. We're going to go get left control, right? Left control. Good.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
You and Ball were on the same target? That's like the first time all around. Okay.
Justice reigns from above.
I know he's bounced around a little, but did start on Ball.
Nanoboost administered.
Okay. Let's do the first fight of the next point here.
Okay.
Ready for
You know what? Throw a curveball and pull out Sim here. I know. Tracer it is.
Sim is only for scrims.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Yeah, again, this is heavy investment here. So I rewound this quite heavily. I don't at all mind us trying to get here first. We don't. We try and fight him off. We take the outside angle, which is good. I like that we've done that. And now we're at a relatively moderate blink count. We're at just about 2 blinks here. We can call this 1 blink, whatever. So we could play in on point, but our team's not really fully in this fight yet. So us playing on the outside and sort of going, hey, we're going to dance with the cover. Totally good. Tracer shows up, so we leave. With 1 blink. With 1 blink. I don't hear a Tracer blink. Don't need the second blink. And now we're stuck. Now, because we're in just one blink territory, we basically have to play at this edge. We don't have any real ability to get into the middle of this fight because we can't sustain in it. So we basically have to play with this cover here, which really limits where we can be influential. Let's see what you do. Okay. Okay. Probably just wait on the pack. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm on the objective. Rally to my position.
There you go. Okay. So we're going to call this one here, and let's sort of break down your tracer. So the most important thing that we got into with your tracer was really your blink management, and specifically it was you are too willing to use your blinks to get into the fight when it's not part of a coordinated dive, and you're too willing to use your blinks when you're in relatively safe places. You have cover between you and the opponents, or the opponents have no idea that you're there, aren't paying attention to you, whatever, and you're perfectly happy to spend your blinks. And you got to be careful about that. If you've got 3 blinks and you use a blink to move, no problem. If you're walking out of spawn and you've got some time or distance before the fight starts so you'll regenerate blinks, no problem. We should use some blinks. But we don't really want to be spending down our second or our third blink. We can spend our first blink, but our second or our third blink for movement to sort of get into the fight, unless it really is this like coordinated burst powerful play, because it then causes us to be functioning on borrowed time and not really be able to stay in the fight, to not really be able to go, oh hey, someone puts pressure on me, I can move, someone puts pressure on me, I can move. Like, you're not getting hard punished for that in this game because they're just not turning and dealing with you very hard, but you were in a lot of situations where they could have put you in constant, hey, you got nothing now mode, and that would have been really unfortunate. And these are diamond players. This is a level where they absolutely can and will be expected to do that for you. So that's the first thing I'd want you to work on your tracer, and that's a little bit of a hard one. It probably changes how you think about tracer a little bit. You have to be a little more respectful of, when I'm moving around the outside, I don't have to blink, and my blinks are dodges. Like, blink equals dodge is sort of something you have to internalize with Tracer, and it's going to take some brain power. But does that make sense to you?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so that's the real main thing that I want to give you with Tracer. The other thing that we could talk about with Tracer is really making sure that, hey, you're coming in on these angles and you're thinking a little bit more about the off angles and the wedges that you're doing. And, you know, a good example of that would be what we saw with Moira here. Let me jump back here. A good example of that would be, hey, just hold your off angle and do your work from here. Just hold your off angle and do your work from here type thing. You did go around to set up your angles. Like, you used a lot of blinks to set up your angles, but you went and did that. But like, it is actually okay to then just play at the angle for a bit, especially if you're low on resources, to go, hey, I used a bunch of blinks to get back to this fight. I can stay at this angle and just make her walk into her doom and punish like that. That's what I'm going to go for. That's definitely not going to be as important for you, but you've got some room to improve on that, and that is going to help you out to understand I can use these angles even on Soldier, like even on Tracer, to go, hey, I'm going to get some value here. The same way I might set up a big, I might do this big giant staging to go, aha, and I come from this side while my team comes from this side. That's good, but I can do that much more passively too, where it's like, hey, I just set up off a little, and as they push in, well, now I can go in more, and it was very easy, and I'm going to maintain my angle. Like, yes, the angles are good for dives, but the angles are also just good to hold to get value out of. Okay. And then we gave you some stuff for your Soldier as well. We, of course, covered that already. But that's where I'm going to leave you. I don't want to weigh you down with too much stuff. I would definitely say the 2 things we gave you for Soldier and then the first thing we gave you for Tracer are the important ones. But please don't try to do all of those at once. I want you to pick one of those, work on it with like 5 to 15% of your brain power, sure, same thing, of your brain power, and really try to form that as a habit. Like, make that become something you automatically do. I don't want you to try to be like, I'm doing 3 things at once, I'm doing 4 things at once, and it might take 5 games, it might take 25 games. It really depends how fast you as a person can implement it. Any questions there?
Not really. Question though, this is more me.
Sure.
Weird because about me. Do you think my mechanics were a problem or not really? Because sometimes I do obsess about mechanics too much.
No, your mechanics are fine. I mean, you have times where your aim gets a little, hey, your aim just got a little wavy there. On Tracer, I noticed a little more than Soldier, where it's like there's not a reason for your aim to have gone wavy just because the person got, close to you. But no, your aim is not like holding you back. There's plenty you can do besides your aim to improve. Obviously, you could make your aim better. That's not going to hurt in any ways. And this isn't like, oh my God, this is a 4600 Widowmaker player. What's he doing? This isn't one of those things. But no, your aim is not holding you back in Diamond at this level. No.
Okay.
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 Then I'm going to go ahead and call this one here.